Okay, greetings everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Vorm, and today I'm going to be playing some more Vagrus, the Riven Realms. When we last played, which has been a week or two, we were in pretty dire straits. We had a rough go of it. Ran out of food in the middle of nowhere and made it to the, edge of nowhere where there was a tiny bit of food. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. For reference on the map, this is kind of the central area here. Torzags is the main location we've been hanging out in and kind of moving out from. We came up to the crossroads, zipped up to Valarius, and then kind of tinkered around in this area. I'm working our way over to Mines of Plenty, and man, we ran out of food early. We had just terrible rolls for scavenging and hunting and such, and it was bad. We almost lost the entire caravan. So we're currently here at the Mines of Plenty, and they had very little food. None. I think we bought 250. I think that's all they had. That's 2 days worth for our currently pretty. We're actually mostly full strength currently. I don't know if we can continue that staffing level. Might have to do some things about that. But our morale and so on is just shattered, literally shattered right there. Minuses, big red scary numbers. So, yeah. Nutrition is bad. Vigor, I mean, it could be worse. Not a lot, but it could be worse. So, yeah, we're massively understaffed with our workforce, shattered morale. We're possibly going to have attempts to remove us as the leader of the Comitatus. We're likely going to have that problem. And we can't sit here for very long because there's no food. So even if I try to rest to get some of this back, we're going to get forced out of here to go find more food. So yeah, good times. I'm undecided whether I want to try to get out of here with our full complement or do we significantly pare down. So we've got kind of two choices, two directions. We've got Salem up here in the north, which I've never been to. And I believe there's something down south right here that is on the roadway that we can probably go to. And we'll probably go here. It's closer. Yeah. So that's probably where we're going to head. All right. So let's look at what we can do here in the city. Curious mining strip promises yield and danger aplenty. Sure, we'll get the notes on that. Apparently, there's a rich underground mining site somewhere in the northwestern crag in the Hills of Plenty, ripe for the taking. Okay. Trade news. Passengers. I'm not likely to take passengers. That's more mouths to feed. Yeah, I don't like either of those, so we're not taking any passengers. I don't remember. Are we carrying things for faction? We are. Back to Torzags. Okay. $16 bronze to Torzags. Got it. All right, so that's our food and the bronze for that particular mission. Not doing either of those, so we're not taking missions out of here. What about tasks? We've got our restock. 8 copper and 6 spectral residue. Okay. None of that other than... getting some copper. They've got 7. That's funny. Well, there's quite the price differential. Buy it for 7, sell it for 18? Or no, yeah, we can buy it for 7 and sell it for 18. Wait, what am I looking at? Otteros Quarry. So that's where we need to buy it. I'm confused. Stack pricing. All right, I'm looking at the right direction now, finally. Yeah, we can just buy this stuff at Torzags. Let's not buy it here. All right, I think our goal is just to get us out of the current problem that we have. Oh yeah. The button's lit up. The cost is 9 to go to 4 authority, which would let us get our 4th member into a deputy slot. Which I think I am going to do. Alright, opens up a sorcery equipment slot. Powerful magic to protect the Comitatus or spy for it. Sorcery slot. I don't think I have any sorceress items to equip. Nope. I'll have to keep an eye out for sorceress items. All right, so we've purchased the supplies. We got to spend at least a day, I think, resting. So we got 2 days worth of food currently. Let's currently We got a bunch of slots we're not using. I think at a minimum, I need to cut down. Shall we butcher one of the large ones? Or sell it? I'm not sure what would be a better choice here. Let's butcher. 480 to 600 supplies. That'll give us another couple of days worth. Let's hold off on that for a second. I'm going to see if we can get out of here without me doing that. I am going to rest at least a day, though. There's not much else I can change or do currently. So, keep paying them. I have cash. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to 100% rations. Let's do that one. One day of rations. That got us up to distressed. We are still slightly over. All right. Yeah, let's butcher one of our... it's going to hurt me so much to do this. All right. That gets us under our numbers. Gets us a few days of food to travel on. Actually, I'm going to rest one more day. I don't think it'll take us 3 days to get south to the roadway if we can get our numbers up just even a little bit further. And let's do 200%. 150 gets us to steady. And we should be survivable with that, I think. All right. All right. Steady, submissive, well-fed, well-rested, 3 days. Yeah, I think we can survive with that. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, Crimson Gate. That's where we're gonna go. That looks like largish city size. It doesn't appear to be marked on the map here, which seems... Well, now it's marked on the map. Was that marked on the map before? I don't remember that being marked on the map before. But, alright, whichever. That's where we're going. The other choice is a little further north. Salem. I don't have any particular business driving me that direction, though. We never did figure out what the deal was here. We do have quest chain kind of pushing us down to Fort Larius. But let's see what we have for options down at the Crimson Gate. I don't know if there's going to be a large supply of food there, or how big the city is, or what kind of our choices are going to be. So let's get that figured out first. All right, can we reach? We've got, I could force march my way down to it. Let's go ahead and use some points. 11 gets me there exactly. Cool. I'm glad we rested. I think it was a good call getting the beast butchered. Sure. You cannot enter the Dragonlands, but even stopping at the gate where you can access the Bazaar, the Mancio, and the Dragonlands officials will cost you some coin in the form of a tax. Pay the tax. Head to the Mancio. All right, Crimson Gate encampment. Standing in the long shadow of the massive Crimson Fortress that guards the southwestern passage into the Dragonlands makes one feel tiny and insignificant. Drake riders circle in the sky while soldiers clad in red dragon steel patrol the gigantic stairway that travelers must ascend to be able to petition the Dragon Lords. The tremendous might and majesty of the Dragonlands is perhaps nowhere as apparent as it is beneath the Crimson Gate. They got food! They got cheap food! Alright, so this is another major city. Just by the 4,000 supplies being sold at one. So another hub city. Wasn't aware we had one over here. Well, that changes things quite a bit. Okay. I got to figure out what our plan is going to be, which is going to depend somewhat on what else we find here in the city. So, with our current crew allotment, we've got, what, 5 cargo slots. We are a bit over on workforce currently. Okay. What else you got besides supplies? Chitin. Dyes and grain. Nothing in large supplies, but some of these items, I don't know how large an amount would be to be considered significant. Like with chitin, for example, is like 10 a big number of chitin in most places, and 34 is exceptional? I don't know. I don't have a feel for that yet. Let's do a quick browse. Let's go ahead and do stack sizes, and we are here at Crimson Gate, so you can buy here. Gee, a tiny profit per stack. Mostly I'm looking to get back to Torzags at the moment, so we'll be comparing this buy price to this sell price. So 24 to 22, 83 to 72, 40 to 24, wrong directions. So far everything's terrible. Let's go to the list everything page. Yeah, chitin. Buy for 7, sell for 11. That's actually a pretty good markup. Now, there's not a lot of it, so, I mean, it's not going to be a huge amount of profit, but what is that? 30 units at 4 profit per? That's actually pretty significant. That adds up to a pretty good number, actually. All right, let's keep looking. Coal, 8 to 12 is pretty good, 50% markup. So chitin and coal. Grain is another one. Even linen's a 50% markup. Chitin, coal, grain, and timber. Kind of catching my eye. Low numbers, but good profit value. What about grain and timber? They got 89 grain. And 40 timber. Alright. So we've got 259. Oof, barely. We need 18 to do the full defense, so we're okay there. Barely manage our workforce. We're not currently running any negatives that are going to modify this. That's a pretty tight margin, but let's see if we can work with it. So, more slots. Coal was doing a 50%. With 1.5 stacks. What else was it? Kite and coal, grain and timber, I think. 9 to 13. And 9 to 13. Gotta account for this too. I should have looked at this first, probably. I want just these missions, please. Salem, Torzag. Supply run for Torzag, so we'll take that one. And I should probably grab more food with at least one more stack. Two more stacks. It's nice and cheap. All right, 7 days. That's about where I like to sit. And I think we will spend another night or two here. All right. Rumors, passengers, Torzags. Sure. Exchange news. What about equipment? Protected harnesses. We've got those. Most of the command posts that belongs to the dragon armies, specifically to the Red Dragon Guard, is off limits to civilians, but a hall is open for anyone who wishes to do business with the guard. After waiting in line, you stand before an elderly but still formidable-looking woman in the signature crimson dragon steel plate armor of an officer. Her right leg is missing from the knee and is substituted with a peg leg cast of bronze. "I'm listening," she says. Ask what one needs for permission to enter the Dragonlands. Ask her if all other ways into the Dragonlands are closed off. Inquire about the areas patrolled. Ask her about the Ratharnak Alliance. Sell information the dragon armies might be interested in. How about the Alliance? We used to have the representatives of the Alliance here at the gate, but that is no longer the case. The officer rubs her chin, but you can find them to the north at the mining town in the heart of the Hills of Plenty. You ask her about the Alliance's interests and agenda. They're traders and expansionists at heart, in that they take after their masters, the Dragon Lords Argador of the Green Brood and Herkenrath of the Bronze Brood. Admittedly, there's talk at this very garrison about the Ratharnak stirring up trouble abroad, but I tend to disregard this sort of gossip, at least until I see proof of the contrary. One thing is for sure, the Alliance is deeply entrenched in the ore mines around the hills and also has some interest in salt harvesting further north. I'll send a formal message to the representatives there to let them know about your trade inquiries. Generally, yes. The officer confirms the pass to the north has been sealed for centuries and only the dragon armies can use them, should the need arise. I would therefore advise you not to approach the ravines there. As for the Sapphire Pass in the north of our land, similar orders were issued to its garrison, the Blue Dragon Guard. As they were to us, let no Imperial traffic in until the ban is lifted. Needless to say that I don't recommend you circumvent the lands to try to enter from the east. That would be suicide. Your only viable course of entry is from the south through the free cities. But how'd you reach those shores? I don't think you can. Not with a Comitatus in tow, at least. All right. Ask what one needs for permission to enter the Dragonlands. I'm afraid that's not something we're handing out right now. Recent activities of the Zarin Empire, activities involving marauding and espionage, as well as hostile arcane phenomenon concerning the winds, convinced the Dragon Lords to ban entry for all but those of hailing from our land. She adds a moment later in a less strict voice, "Things never last for long, travelers, so sooner or later you'll be able to visit the fair and mighty Dragonlands." All right, doesn't seem like we're going to get much here. So that's it for storyline stuff here. We've got merchant missions. We've updated our crew. Purchased trade goods and supplies. I think it's time to sleep and then get out of here. Let's go to 200%. Nope. 150. Yeah, 150 keeps us well nourished. Steady morale. We're getting the morale there. We can't do the fancy option. Not doing jobs. All right. We're up to 8 and 7. Morale is up to 6. Nourished and energetic. So we're close to getting what I want. We can get morale up to eager and get invigorated. Yeah, we'll do one more day here. I'll buy more food and then we'll take off. All right. Place our supplies. Man, that's a lot of food. Wow, that costs a lot of money to buy. Well, a lot of it's sunk into materials. But yeah, we spent a lot of money getting recovered. All right, so we're back into pretty good shape, though. Just about got morale back up. It'll naturally go back up as we travel, as long as we don't lose all of our food again. Everything else is looking good. We've got a fair surplus. Wonder why the workforce went up. I didn't think we were getting oh, we're getting positives now. That's why. We weren't getting negatives. We went from having negatives to not having negatives. That's when I last looked. And now we're getting positives, which is increase the gap here. All right. We need 21. Dang it. I was hoping to get back to 25. Out of scouts. Alright, fine. Be that way. Alright, I think we're good to go. Let's head on out of here. Do we follow the main road? We got a week of supplies. I think we're just gonna we're gonna scramble on down the road. I don't have a week's worth. We got 6 days, close enough. The goal is just to get back to Torzag Shelter, get these missions and trade goods turned in, and then reevaluate our financial situation and where we want to go and what we want to do. We have a mission pushing us out towards Fort Larius. We've got a mission wanting to send us... Where was it? I don't remember where it was. Yeah, we'll look around when we get there. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to run straight down the road, I think. We can make it... We got 16 points total. 8 gets us to there, huh? Do we off-road it? Nah, let's push along the road for the start. Wait a day. All right, good enough. Whoops. Oh, well. Didn't realize I had that little bend in there still. 1 point left. Well, we can't do this anyway. Yeah, 0. Up to 144, huh? With a 6% crit fail. Nah, I don't want to give up a vigor. All right, full guards. Let's get that morale back up. 150% is fine. Yep, got to keep those numbers up. All right, now we can get moving proper. Even with using our opportunity, I'm not sure we're going to get there with our food supply. We're already down to 3 days. Man. Let's divert off-road and try to do a little bit of hunting and scavenging. Go to 100, pay now. Okay, numbers there. We'll give that one also costing us 2 movement, which is fine. Max guards. Well, at least we had a success. That helps. Gets us back to 5 days. We go back on the road or stay off-road. 7's an okay number. Gets us 2 nodes. Damn, this place is expensive to move through. Fail, fail. Big gap in the middle here. 4 days. Let's get to here. Good job, guys. Okay. 8. I hate the number 8. I'm going to go straight to the crossroads, and then we're going to have to go off-road and try to find some more supplies. Oh, there's an entry at the crossroads? Have I not been to the crossroads yet? Hey, crossroads. That's pretty bleak looking. Crossroads. 3 large marble obelisks stand silently where the Emperor's Road and the Windway meet. Sometimes comitati stop here before continuing their arduous journeys north, south, or east. The standing stones care little for such visitors, for they have witnessed so many of their short-lived kind pass by. The whistling of the wind and the swirling dust never ceases here. Stop and look around. This is it, the grand junction where the Emperor's Road meets the Windway, where it all comes together, the throbbing heart of the whole region. It's rather disappointing. 3 lean standing stones, each about 60 feet high, surround the crossroads. Impressive as they may be, simply because of their sheer size, they are otherwise featureless and there's nothing else of interest here. At least not at the moment. You know for a fact this can be quite a busy site as a lot of other comitati and travelers pass through here, often making camp for the night. Examine the waystones. Look around the area for a bit. No use lingering. The gigantic pointed obelisks are made of marble and stand on large, round pedestals covered in dust from the plains. You try to look for differences between them, however subtle, but can't make out anything. Surprisingly, not even graffiti, although one would assume the countless passerby would leave their marks on them. They loom indifferently over the crossroads, apparently not bothered by the comings and goings of mortals and the marching of time. You send a few scouts out and even look around a bit yourself. After some searching, you come upon a set of tracks. Nothing curious in itself, given that this soil is trampled upon by dozens of feet at any given time, but these were apparently left by a single person, not a large group of people, and even more importantly, they don't follow any of the main roads, but lead a way into the wasteland. You track the footprints for a while, and just as you start to think they're hopelessly lost in the sand, you spy a small object not far ahead. A hut of some sort, if you're not mistaken, but who in their right mind would dwell in such a desolate place? Oh boy. Approach the hut. You can see that it is not much of a shack as you get closer, but merely an awning riddled with holes fastened to some sticks that can be adjusted to give shelter from the wind as the need arises. A small fire, really just embers, glimmers before it. Strewn around, there are some frugal belongings, an earthenware bowl, a flask, a few crude instruments. Sitting by the fire is a scrawny woman dressed in rags. Her age is hard to tell because of all the dirt covering her and the shaggy mop of hair partly concealing her face, but she's certainly not young. Still, her eyes sparkle with astonishing vitality, and she doesn't seem to be surprised or startled by your presence in the least. Pray tell, wanderer, she addresses you, you don't happen to have some spare grub on you for poor Bioka of the wastes? I am a wee bit hungry and thirsty. The last few weeks haven't been kind. Give her supplies. 2 supplies, sure. Finderarth gained loyalty. Crypta, Garrick, and Harvek lost loyalty. God dang, people. Oh, bless your good soul, she says after some eager gulps of water. Bioka is ever so grateful. You ask her who she is and how she survives here all by herself. Questions, questions. Hush now. I am mighty tired, but you've been kind to me. Come back sometime later, and who knows? Biuka might even have answers for you, or even other things to trade for your help. A lot of curious goods tend to fall off the carts around these parts. All right. Turn to the crossroads. Nothing else to do here, so exit. We're at 3 days. We gotta camp for the night. I don't have enough, and there's nothing to harvest there. Don't want to use up a vigor. Alright, we're just a short push down to Torzag's. 2 days remaining. We do have our move fast button available. Yeah. We're not gonna quite make it. We're at 5 nutrition. We're gonna keep pushing. Can't quite make it. Actually, we can make it if we push. Why do I not get the... I think I don't get it until I actually finish moving. Uh-oh. Gotta pay the tax. Inspections and security checks by Imperial authorities are common on important roads, and sooner or later, you can't avoid them unless you avoid the roads themselves. According to these tax collectors and their lackeys, such tariffs grind the wheels of the Empire, but you're sure they mostly end up in sleazy palms. How much? Ouch. That's actually expensive. Nah, we're definitely not going to attack them. Your story is in alignment? Really? Pay with a horse. Pay with 160 goods. Oh, 160 supplies. Random goods. And pay the tax. Alright. Let's push to get in there. We made it! Alright, our Dragonkin tradesmen passengers have left. Paid us pretty well. That's a good payout. 37% tip. And some faction points with the Sithnichness Covenant. Back to Torzag. Alright, first up, go to the factions active. Turn those in. And we'll check available in a bit. Still not high enough to claim anything. A change in the winds, huh? Ever since that strange earthquake and sudden gale, the one that left people with headaches and strange dreams for weeks, the winds have been more severe out in the wasteland. People have seen legionnaires marching south and claim they went to the Singing Winds. Exchange news. Passengers to Crystal Ash and the Twin Towers. I don't have any of that on my current to-do list that I can remember. Alright. Sort out our cargo. So we're selling stacks of chitin for 11. Torzag, chitin, selling for 11. And we purchased at 7. I think, didn't we purchase it slightly less than that? I forget. That's probably right. All right. Whoa, look at that price drop. Holy crap. Ouch. That's basically giving it back at the price we bought it at. Do we keep it in the inventory? Is it worth it for 5 whole pieces? I'm gonna say no. Alright, get this back to my 7 days that I usually trundle about with. Leaving us some stacks. We're back up to 243. We've sold everything. We've delivered everything. So we did slide backwards a bit after that, you know, not so great trip across that desert. But we're fairly well recovered. I do need to get my nutrition back up. We were going on not high supplies to make it across that. Do I want to do any exploration of the city while we're here? I think what we should do is let's make a save. Get what we're up to. B7. Okay. We've got 28 medical supplies still, so we're doing good there. Spoon Death doesn't get me in trouble. Outlawed in most places. Nothing new in here. All right, so usually we jump into what, the Civic District or the Infirmary. We don't need to do that this time. Some of these I haven't done too much in. Let's visit Dragon's Nest Inn. Several passengers looking for comitatus. Purchase quality booze for your crew. This will consume all your movement points. Sure, have some booze, guys. Crew would beside itself with joy when you arrive with the bottles of quality booze. +2 morale, -1 vigor. That's fine. Arena Maximus. Nothing going on. The gardens. Approach the gangs. Take a walk. Lots of lore text. This one I'm not going to read through. Appreciate the many types of rare plants. Perk herb lore required and available every 10 days. Sure. Gives you more insight into post-calamity fauna. We gained an insight point. Cool. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do in that district. Let's go to the Undercity. See if we can get in some trouble. Alchemist. Nothing he wants. Oh, he also has medical supplies. I don't know what the price differential is. Purchase antidote, poison, alchemy tools. I'm not sure if I have alchemy tools. Is there a way I can... Also not sure what slot alchemy tools go into. The sorcery? Requirements, alchemy. Perks granted, +1 alchemy. I guess we'll ignore that for now. Alright, how about we do a random event thing? Explore the city. You learn that 2 of your fighters were taken by drafting soldiers while out in the city for a few drinks. With the constant wars in the north, it is sometimes easy to get press-ganged in this way in cities of the Upper Empire. But you've never heard about anyone grabbed in this way so far down south. Perhaps the situation is direr than the authorities claim. Make an attempt to get your men back if you seek out the recruitment office. Recruitment office is a dire place, a squat building of dark stone right next to one of the several barracks of the city. Many draftees linger here with vacant looks on their faces, looking uncomfortable in their new uniforms. Will not be simple to get your men back, but there might be a few things you can try. Try to bribe? How much? That's nothing. That's fine. Let's go ahead and increase the chance. Test success. It works. The reason they were drafted is that they were drunk and caused some kind of ruckus. Of course, your guys deny having done anything of the sort. And we get kicked out. All right. Yeah, once per day. Market district. Oh yeah, Braxius. We haven't been to Braxius in a while. News and rumors. News refreshed. Not sure what that actually did. Don't know that I have a need for ivory or spice. Ah, I can sell my simple jewelry here. Anyway, it's not worth much, but sure. Really? I have to go through this thing one at a time? That seems weird. Moon dust. Yeah, this is kind of awkward. It's really awkward. Why the hell does the interface have to be like this? How many of those things did I have? Apparently that many. Ask him about his strange heritage. Nothing strange about it, Captain. Baraxius is deadly serious for a moment, but then his devilish visage breaks into a wide grin. I kid, I kid. I don't hold grudges anyways, Captain. Bad for business. So as for me, I'm a dragonkin, you see. Alright, I'm not going to read all through that one. Beast lures. We don't have many. Improves the magic sense perk. +3 all resistances. Requirements, magic sense. What's Finderarth has got to have magic sense, right? Does it just like to put it in red just cuz? Yeah, I saw the +3 to all resistances. Again, I'm trying to figure out how I can get to my... how I can get to see my people information without backing all the way out of here, then going back to the Mancio and looking, and then coming all the way back again. I don't see a way to do it. No. I mean, I can't even get to my own character sheet here. I don't like having to make decisions when I don't know the details. I also don't like backing out of 3 screens to get to the information I need to go back again 3 screens to make the purchase. I gotta believe Finderarth has this. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm not gonna do charismatic. Magic Sense 2. So this is, I think, a problem I had previously. So I bought that thing. Where is that thing? What do I have to look at to actually... Oh, there it is. All right, so you click on these slots to bring up the list of things. And she now has it. Yeah, I wish it didn't show red on the previous screen. I mean, I think it makes sense if it showed red if none of my people had the ability in my comitatus, but the problem I ran into was I was 90% sure that she had the magic sense trait. But if it had been, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that interface. In use by Finderarth. All right. So when it says +3 to all resistances, 3%, I'm assuming? Yeah, so it's adding 3% to all of our resistances. All right. And then +1 to magic sense. So we're going from magic sense 2 to magic sense 3. Scouting base chance increase. All right, cool. I think that's all the wandering around I'm going to do. So, crew status again. Be good to spend a day or so to get everybody rested up and nutrified. Let's go take a look at our options. So, story-wise... Why did this screen come up? Oh, because I clicked up there. All right, so we've got 9. That one's just doing its thing. I don't know yet where spectral residue's at, so it can't do that. Find the rated comitatus northeast of Valaris. Yeah, we never found that. I could figure out how to get this to trigger. We wandered around. It's part of what caused our problem is I spent time trying to do this, and we never figured out where it was at. So I don't know what find the comitatus northeast of Valarius means mechanically. We kind of moved around in this area, and I never did see anything that would trigger. So I don't know how that actually works. And it was an expensive failure, because then we tried to go across the Mines of Plenty, and then we failed our hunting, scavenging, failed. It got ugly. So, that one still bugs me. Travel to Fort Larius. That's the one to the east and south a bit. That's the one where they want us to infiltrate. Pretend to be them. That's the normal start one, and that's Finderarth, which we're working on as time progresses. So is there just one more chapter in her mission? Is that what that means? We haven't even gotten to chapter 1 on Harvek. We're on chapter 3 for Golden Theory. Chapter 2 for Krifta. All right. Yeah, I really would like to get this thing finished off.